President Putin ordered a drill to test the ability to deploy tactical nuclear weapons. The two NATO countries decided not to transfer Russian-made air defense systems to Ukraine. The Russian foreign minister accused the U.S. of wanting Russia to fail strategically. President Zelensky revealed his expectations for the peace conference. President Putin ordered a drill to test the ability to deploy tactical nuclear weapons. On May 6, Russia announced that it would hold military exercises, including practicing the use of tactical nuclear weapons, after threats and provocative statements from Western officials. According to Reuters, the Russian Ministry of Defense announced that the above exercise was carried out on orders from Russian President Vladimir Putin, and will test the readiness of non-strategic, i.e. tactical, nuclear forces in carrying out combat missions. The Russian Ministry of Defense announced that the exercise will include practice in preparing and deploying the use of non-strategic nuclear weapons. Missile units in the southern military region and the Navy and Air Force will participate in the exercise. Regarding time, RT Radio, Russia, quoted an announcement from the Russian Ministry of Defense saying the exercise would be held in the near future. Russia currently possesses the world's largest nuclear arsenal. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, the exercise was organized to ensure Russia's sovereignty and territorial integrity in the face of threats and provocative statements by some Western officials against the Russian Federation. Russian and American diplomats said Russia's special military campaign in Ukraine caused the worst breakdown in relations between Russia and the West since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. According to the Federation of American Scientists, FAS, Russia currently has a total of 5,977 nuclear warheads, the most in the world, of which about 1,500 warheads are no longer in use. Meanwhile, the U.S. has 5,428 nuclear warheads, France has 290, and the U.K. has 225. Experts estimate that about 1,500 Russian warheads are deployed, that is, they are installed at missile bases, on bombers or on submarines. Along with that, about 977 strategic warheads and 1,912 non-strategic, i.e. tactical, warheads are being stockpiled, according to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, BAS. The two NATO countries decided not to transfer Russian-made air defense systems to Ukraine. Turkey and Greece are still determined to retain Russian-made air defense missile systems and refuse to hand them over to Ukraine, despite pressure from the U.S. According to Forbes on May 5, in the context of escalating fighting in Ukraine, the EU began to put pressure on Greece, calling on the country to transfer S-300 systems familiar to the Ukrainian army to Kyiv. However, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis ruled out the possibility of transferring S-300 missiles under pressure from EU and NATO allies. Greece will not send S-300 or Patriot to Ukraine, Mr. Mitsotakis told Greek television at the end of April. We were asked and explained why we couldn't do that, Mr. Mitsotakis explained. These systems are important for Greece's deterrence capabilities. Later, Turkish Defense Minister Yasar Güler also made a similar statement. Ankara purchased the S-400 Triumph air defense system from Moscow several years ago. There is no question of providing our S-400 system to any other country, Minister Güler stated on May 2. As Forbes notes, Greece's S-300 was deployed to Crete in the late 1990s due to tensions with Turkey. For a long time, these air defense systems were stored in warehouses, and only in 2013 did Greece conduct missile launch training from S-300 systems for the first time. On the other hand, Turkey purchased the S-400 directly from Russia, receiving them in 2019. Turkey then faced sanctions from the U.S. and was removed from the list of F-fighter purchases. 35 New generation. Ankara still refuses to remove Russian air defense systems even in exchange for returning to the F-35 program. However, according to Forbes, Turkey has not yet put the S-400 into military service and has not conducted test launches. According to open-source data, Greece currently has about 175 interceptor missiles for 32 S-300 launchers, while Turkey has more than 120 missiles for its S-400 systems. The fact that two NATO members that were never members of the Warsaw Pact continue to possess such advanced Russian missiles is truly astonishing, Forbes noted. According to Union news agency, Ukraine, Russia has carried out a large-scale missile attack campaign on Ukrainian energy facilities in recent weeks. Responding to Ukraine's call for an air defense system, Germany was the first country to urgently provide Ukraine with a Patriot battery. The Russian foreign minister accused the U.S. of wanting Russia to fail strategically. Foreign Minister Lavrov said that no matter who is elected next president, the U.S. will always see Russia as an enemy country that needs to be defeated. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party have the same stance on Russia and China. One faction will support a tougher line and the other party wants to be tougher with us, Bosnian station ATV May 5 quoted Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. No matter which side wins the election, we are always considered enemies. Opponents or enemies are just different names for the same problem. The U.S. government always keeps the goal of inflicting defeat. Strategy on Russia, he said. Foreign Minister Lavrov criticized the U.S. for pursuing policies to block China and punish Russia, contrary to the principles and institutions that Washington once supported, such as globalization and the World Trade Organization, WTO. Fair competition, innocent presumption, or respect for market mechanisms. As soon as they need to punish Russia, they no longer care about the inviolable right to property and are ready to usurp our national reserves, he said. We can only negotiate with those who understand the need to balance the interests of the parties. Negotiation is impossible if one side resolutely imposes its will and forces the other to obey. The statement was made by Lavrov in the context that the West is looking for ways to handle Russia's assets worth more than $300 billion frozen abroad after Moscow launched hostilities in Ukraine. The U.S. is considering confiscating these assets to transfer to Ukraine, while European countries are hesitant. The Russian foreign minister said that the U.S. leadership at this time only wants dialogue in the position between a hegemonic country and the rest, not interested in the idea of sincere dialogue as stipulated in the United Nations Charter. President Zelensky revealed his expectations for the peace conference. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the Global Peace Summit will take place and will be successful. According to Ukrinform, the above statement was made by Mr. Zelensky in a speech recorded on the evening of May 5. In his speech, Mr. Zelensky thanked the personnel in the negotiating team of Ukraine and partner countries for their active work to prepare for the Global Peace Summit taking place next June. The Global Peace Summit will be held and it must be successful. We will work together to achieve results, Mr. Zelensky said. The Global Peace Summit will be held in Buggenstock, near Luzern, Switzerland on June 15 to 16. Previously, in a speech at the beginning of the month, Mr. Zelensky said that heads of state and government leaders from all continents were invited to attend the Global Peace Summit. Mr. Zelensky emphasized that this summit will serve as a platform to discuss ways to achieve comprehensive, just and lasting peace for Ukraine in accordance with the United Nations Charter and international law. Information about the conference: Swiss President Viola Amherd said that the goal of the conference is to find a way to start the negotiation process, and Switzerland intends to attract as many countries as possible from the different regions of the world participated in the conference to present their views on how to proceed with the process of resolving the current conflict in Ukraine. Commenting on this issue, Russian ambassador to Switzerland Sergei Garmanin said that, with its current form, the conference will certainly fail. Mr. Garmanin also said that without Russia's participation, a peace summit would just be a round of fruitless consultations.